This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky and I'm here with Matt Jess. You never know which one I said first. It's
said Matt. You said Matt first.
Matt Jess.
Matt Jess.
Combine us into one.
No, if you go back to the tape, it's actually this Jess, Matt Jess.
Oh.
And I'm
That's
here
not
with
true.
Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart.
Hello.
Hello.
Sick of playing favourites, you know?
But, I mean...
Well, you got to start with one of us.
I know, you got to start with one.
What
Dave,
is it,
gun
Age
to your
Before
head, who's your
Beauty
favourite?
Or what
Shit
was it?
before the shovel?
Alphabetical? Numerologically?
Ooh.
Dave. Gun to your head, pick a favourite, go.
Kill you both and live.
Ah.
Okay, the gun was to your head, but somehow we're dead. Oh, it
yeah.
rhymed.
I've disarmed the
Okay,
person
well,
with the gun.
You've lost us already.
I've shot them. I've shot both of you with one bullet because there was only two. And now I have walked a free man.
I don't think that's...
Well, you didn't have to kill us. We were... In this scenario, you weren't even saying we had the gun.
All right. I'm a free man. I didn't say I didn't make a mistake.
And then another mistake straight after.
God, I really regret asking that question.
Yeah, that's a bit grim, actually.
That really
Dave.
bummed me out.
Yeah, all right. Never put a gun to Dave's head and make him answer that, because
Yeah,
it
do
doesn't
not.
end well.
Yeah, because I'll kill everyone but me.
Okay, well...
Hey, Dave, do you have any more exciting news than that? Than your deep, dark death wish?
Yeah, pretty excited for the new James Bond movie. Not long now.
Okay, we'll have to update the James Bond episode from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Who did that? Was it Dave?
I did it.
You did it.
And then we went downstairs for the Stupid Old Studios Christmas party. That's why I remember that one pretty well.
Huh.
All right.
Do not recall.
All right, gun to my head. I'll tell you what's really been going on behind the scenes here.
What's
at Do
going
Go
on?
So this show, some people may know, is supported by people through Patreon, where people can chip in a few bucks a month in exchange for rewards and also the knowledge that they're keeping us going, which is very, very nice. And every now and then we set a goal, an overall goal, sort of like a crowdfunding type thing. You hit that goal, we do something new.
Mm-hmm.
Previous goals, we said we'd do a web series. That was a few months ago we hit that. And guess what? Announcement, we filmed it.
We filmed it, yeah. When did we film it? Was it late last year?
November. It was
Literally 3 days before we went to the UK.
Oh, that's
it was the
right.
craziest time of our entire life.
Yeah, it was so stressful.
We had to work on that, but also have 9 reports ready to go for the live tour.
Yes. So there's at least 9 episodes of that in the editing suite.
Yeah, hopefully coming out in the next couple of months.
Annoying that there's 9, but I didn't want to do any more work.
9, but we might do a promo video, so it'll be 10 all up.
Yes! Thank you.
We thought about this.
And the goal before that, what was that, Dave? It was an American tour.
Yeah, North American tour, which we have been, I know we've been working on for a long time, to be honest, because visa stuff, especially with the United States of America, is very, very difficult. But we are closer now than we've ever been before. Don't want to give away too much just in case it falls through, but we are confident that we're going to get to North America this year.
Yes. We both don't want to get our hopes or your hopes
Yeah,
up,
that's
but-
right. Because
but
we want it
feel-
probably more than anyone else in the world.
It would be my dream come true. Comedy in America, the home of comedy. They were the first people to do something funny.
Then what would you do?
you know that?
What would you
Yeah.
do once you've achieved your life goal?
Oh, I've got other goals.
Ah.
I've never met Frankie Peckett, for instance.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah, there's plenty of things to tick off the list. Imagine meeting Mossy one day.
Yeah, wow.
I've seen him live twice in the last few months.
That's kind of like meeting.
Yeah.
But anyway, point is...
Point is, we've got a new goal.
Yes.
Because we all, I mean,
Oh,
I'd forgotten about this. I was
Yeah,
just
right.
like, oh yeah, we're just updating it about America.
you get a goal, you take the goal. You get a new goal.
Okay.
is this some sort of sporting parlance? Is that what you're going for?
Well, for a long time, especially you two, have been asked every time we do a live show, people say, when's it coming? When's the next podcast coming? You've got Book Cheat, you got Primates, you got Listen Now, but when are we going to hear Phrasing the Bar, the podcast that you guys talked about on one of Matt's Primates shows
Yeah, maybe episode 6.
Many-
very early
Very
on.
early.
many, many moons ago, a podcast exclusively devoted to the films of Brendan Fraser.
Also, can I point out too that I I remember on that episode being like, God, what would we even call it? And you just straight off the bat, Matt, went phrasing the bar. And I thought, of course, I feel like an idiot. You nailed it in one go. It was the fastest I've ever seen your brain work.
But it's been locked in now. But, geez, if I had another crack at it, I'd probably come up with something else like branding over or
That's good.
Fraser. Every pencil has a Fraser. Mm-hmm. That's why pencils have a Frasers. You know, I'm just saying there's plenty of options.
Yeah,
Hell Fraser.
Hell Fraser's good.
Fraser Island. It's just an island.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is that we've got a new Patreon goal.
Yep.
And I think it was saying we're about 80% of the way to it. And if we hit it, we're going to start doing a third Patreon bonus episode a month. And that episode is going to be a bit of a coincidence, actually, because we're just talking about it. But it's going to be an episode of Phrasing the Bar.
That's right. So that'll be an exclusive Patreon series.
Yeah.
So once a month, we're going to go through all of his films in order. And what have we worked out? There's about 50 of them
About 50.
so far.
Yeah.
So we'll get there over many years.
Yeah.
Yes. And that goes along with the monthly bonus mini report that we do.
Yeah.
Which usually goes for about close to an hour. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
so not
It's
super
never
many.
So it's kind of win-win. If you're already a Patreon who gets the bonus episodes, you're going to be getting another one, which is great. If you're not a Patreon, you can sign up and you'll be getting 3, which is huge.
Yes.
And you get heaps of other fun stuff too. So you should definitely head on over there if you can.
That's right. Patreon.com/dogoonpod is the place you got to go to. And it all helps. It keeps the pod going. We haven't missed a week in nearly 4.5 years now, mainly because of those people.
Yes.
For sure.
So thank you so much to the Patreons. Also, while we're talking about exciting stuff, we're doing live shows at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. We're doing 4 of them. Mm-hmm. And they're on Saturday afternoons at the European Beer Cafe. And they're going to be, I don't want to talk it up too much, but the best 4 days of our lives.
Yep.
I think so.
And you can get tickets for that via comedyfestival.com or dogoonpod.com. There'll be a link on there as well. And Jess and I are both doing stand-up comedy shows right throughout the whole festival. Jess is doing her first ever show.
First and last, baby.
So we got to get behind it.
Please come.
Go out with a bang. Come in with a bang.
Come in and leave. I'm in and out. Bang, bang.
So our podcast is on Saturdays at 2 something.
2 o'clock.
2.
Bang on.
Jess is on at 6. I'm on at 7. You could do all 3 in one day if you want to do a Saturday.
That's right. Have a beer at the beer cafe afterwards and then mosey on down to Jess's show.
Yeah. And you can find out details for all those shows at comedyfestival.com.au or at jessperkins.com.au or mattstewartcomedy.com. Anyway, Dave, we should do this mother flippin' show.
That's right. Because we're not at Phrasing the Bar just yet. But we are here at Do Go On. And on this show, we take it in turns to report on a topic suggested by a listener most of the time. And it is Jess's turn to report on a topic. And usually, 2 out of 3 of us will have a question. Jess is the exception to the rule.
I just wrote it 10 minutes ago, remember?
Well, she's going to ask us the question to get us onto the topic. I'm excited. Good for you.
My question is...
This is going to be good.
This is so dumb.
We'll be the judge of that.
My question is, who is your daddy and what does he do?
Oh,
Martin Warnocky, teacher, retired.
Paul Stewart, teacher, retired.
Are you doing a report on Arnie?
Yes!
Yes! My hero. I say with trepidation in case of he's done some bad stuff as well. But also, what a cool guy.
Cool guy. Do you know much about his early life?
Yes.
Okay.
Some stuff.
Matt, do you know much?
I think he's Austrian.
Very good.
And,
Great start.
He left with stars in his eyes and a dream in his heart and a pair of socks in his backpack.
Yeah.
And a couple of big biceps.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I know that he had he was very driven, but I don't know anything about the specifics.
Yeah, I can't say. I mean, obviously, I'm familiar with his work. Of course.
Are you familiar with his autobiography?
No, I haven't read
You know what
it.
it's called?
Hang on. One was called. He's written a couple. Is it called Total Recall?
Total Recall.
Yeah.
Incredible title.
Because it was the name of one of his films.
Yes! How good is that?
With the woman with 3 boobs.
And then, that's true.
Does anyone, that's all that I remember about that film, and I've never seen it.
Oh, really? I have.
I don't think I have either.
What about the malfunctioning lady that goes,
Oh, that rings a bell.
She's a robot.
That's that sounds like the name of a painting. The Malfunctioning Lady.
And that noise was fun.
No.
Is that going to be featured in the episode?
It is now.
Great.
Because, I didn't know... I'm familiar with his work, of course, but I didn't know a lot about him. And I've also just realised I did not write down who has suggested him. So let's find out now. Okay, it's a few people.
Is it me? I would have suggested it because I think he's great.
Yeah. I did one time at there was what was his famous documentary from the olden days? It was
Pumping Iron.
Pumping Iron. I watched
which I will talk about.
a chunk of that at the Meredith Music Festival. They have an outdoor cinema around the back somewhere in the forest area, and I watched that one night. That was pretty cool watching that out under the stars. I think that's the only film of his I've ever seen. That and Twins.
So there are a few people that have suggested this topic. Gregory Gritman is one of them. Ben Ward has also suggested it. Matthew Beerling, Robert Riddell, Andrew Cox,
The Riddler.
Thomas Doppelreiter.
Wows. So,
Double writer.
Doppelreiter.
I probably said that wrong, Thomas. I'm sorry. It's also been suggested by Ali, and finally, it has been suggested by John Collins. So a bunch of people
Collins.
have
He
suggested this
sounds
as a
like
topic.
he was an historical figure.
Hello, I'm John Collins.
It's a great group.
Is that how you were imagining his name? His accent also?
Yeah, I'm John Collins.
Yeah, I imagine Charmed, I'm sure.
Charmed, I'm sure.
I think I've
got
right.
a horse out the front.
And one up the back.
Want to meet them? It'll cost you.
So he's crazy.
Yeah.
He's part of a circus?
He's charging you to meet his horse.
How much? $300. Wow, it's got to be. I mean,
To meet the horse.
You'd hear that and go, well, I mean, it's got to be so good.
Yeah.
It's probably worth it.
That's
But
a great
then,
scam.
but then you'd see that he wasn't wearing pants, and you'd go, okay,
Hang on.
all right, dodged a bullet here.
Yeah.
John is crazy.
No, I'm giving him my money. I'm rolling
300 to meet the horse. 600 to eat the horse.
Only 600.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of meat. It'll last you. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
don't
good
want
value.
yuck. Don't want to do that. Anyway, so thank you to those people who have suggested this as a topic. Let's explore. don't explore. I was going to say, please indulge.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
There were some great names in there, Jess.
Great
I just
names.
want to stress that.
Yeah,
Who was that? Robert Riddell?
yeah, it's a good one.
Doppelwriter?
Doppelreiter.
Gregory Gritman.
What about Arnold?
I love the alliteratory
What
ones.
about Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger?
Oh, ding, ding, ding. We have a new
That's his
winner.
middle name is Alois.
Alois.
Did not know that. That's good.
Aloisi.
Do it.
Arnold
John
Schwarzenegger.
Alois.
Schwarzenegger.
Catchy.
He was born on the 30th of July, 1947, in Thal, in Styria, to Aurelia and Gustav Schwarzenegger. Thal is a small village about 3.2 k's or 2 miles west from Graz, which is the second largest city in Austria. It's so small that the population in 2014 on the 2014 census was 2,240 people.
I thought it was it's so small, the population was negative 47.
Wow, that's low.
They had to start counting the cemetery.
Ghost town.
That's like counting the ghosts.
This may be embarrassing. I've never heard Graz said out loud.
Me
I
either.
think in my head I would have said Graz.
Yeah, look, who knows what it is.
I
Didn't look it up.
Oh.
Probably Graz. If I'm wrong, sorry about that. But, you
If
know,
you're
you try
wrong,
saying Woolloomooloo.
It's
okay?
actually...
We all have weird
Yeah,
sounding
okay.
places, all right? Get off my case.
Woolloomooloo is fantastic.
So fun. It's fun to read, fun to say. His father was the local chief of police and had held a high rank while he served in World War II after voluntarily joining the Nazi Party in 1938.
Ah,
Not great.
I mean, it's not the only Austrian to do that.
because Hitler did.
Yeah. That was the joke there.
Thank God, Matthew. So I was like, all right. Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't. It would have mentioned it in my research if he was the only one. I'm sure I would have found it. So, yeah, it probably wasn't, Dave.
Just the two.
Oh, Hitler. Okay. Yep. So Gustav suffered recurring bouts of malaria while in the war, which led to his discharge in February of 1944.
What colour was the discharge?
I was thinking about that. Was it a pussy discharge?
It was like a bit green.
Oh, nasty.
You don't want that. That's a sign of infection.
Yeah, get him out. Get him out.
Yeah, well, Bit of karma there, Nazi boy.
He was considered unfit for active duty and he returned to Austria where he was assigned to work as a postal inspector. Arnold had an older brother as well. His name was Meinhard.
Oh, wow.
Had not said that out loud until
Imagine if
then.
the names were different and one of the world's biggest movie stars was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
that is
God.
awesome.
Amazing. Apparently their father favoured Meinhard because apparently
He backed the wrong one, I reckon.
he suspected that Arnold
The Nazis?
Yeah. I mean, how wrong can one man be?
Yeah, he had a history
Oh, for
really
two.
backing the wrong horse. Well, apparently he
You want to meet a horse?
I have one out the front. He suspected Arnold was not his biological son, but these suspicions were largely unfounded.
Is that because Arnold was 7'1" and he was like 5 foot?
He's like,
Yeah, I'd be claiming those genes.
Yeah.
That guy, no.
no.
Not from my scrotum. Sorry about that.
Is that how you say it over there?
Yeah.
Scrotum.
I've never heard it said out loud.
I've got
It's a little
grass.
town near Vienna.
Got grass in your scrotum.
you should not. If you've got grass in your scrotum, Matt, you need to
I
see
need
a
to make a
doctor.
phone call.
Get it out.
Get the grass out of there. Out of your scrot. Apparently, Arnie was an average student at school, but known to be cheerful, good-humoured, and good-humoured.
And a good human? Good human.
And exuberant.
Ah.
He played a lot of sport.
Was he voted like that year's most likely to be exuberant?
Yeah, most exuberant. He played a lot of sport. He was particularly good at soccer and was set on pursuing a career as a soccer player. In 1960, his soccer coach took Arnold and the rest of the team to a local gym to do some weights training. Arnold was hooked. He changed his career goals from soccer... Fuck me, why can't I talk today? He changed his career goals from soccer to bodybuilding. He'd been... Oh, this is a quote from him. He says, I'd been participating in sports like soccer for years, so I felt that although I was slim, I was well developed, at least enough so that I could start going to the gym and start Olympic lifting.
I love how he changes his goals so quickly.
Yeah.
Then he went to the milk bar. He's like, oh, dairy's for me.
I'm gonna own a cow.
I'm going to buy a cow.
I've got a cow on the front. His official website biography says, at 14, he started an intensive training program with Dan Farmer. Oh, Farmer.
Farmer.
Farmer? I'm going to be Farmer. He studied psychology at 15 to learn more about the power of mind over body. And at 17, officially started his competitive career. He's a bit crazy. In 1961, he met former Mr. Austria, Kurt Marnul, who invited him to train at the gym in Graz. He started regularly visiting the gym, and while he was in town as well, he'd also go to local movie theatres to see bodybuilding idols such as Reg Park, Steve Reeves, and Johnny Weissmuller.
Were they in the movies, or was he just seeing them in the crowd?
On the big screen,
Oh, right.
yes.
Just watching them from afar as they watched their favourite film.
Apparently he got so into training and he was so dedicated that he'd break into the gym on weekends when it was closed just to make sure he got enough training in.
He'd break in.
He's a teenager breaking into the gym to exercise.
So every Monday comes in, the window smashed again. What happened there?
Also,
Anyway.
the place has been tidied up. The weights are all in order again. And he said, it would make me sick to miss a workout. I knew I couldn't look at myself in the mirror the next morning if I didn't do it, which really doesn't feel super healthy. But also, anyone who's a lead at any sport has that kind of mentality. You know? Unlike me.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Any excuse not to, I'm like, well, it's a bit wet. So,
I've never missed a day at the gym.
okay, Dave, when's the last time you went to the gym?
I never missed a day, so no further questions. Please don't ask for a date.
What date, Dave?
What do you? I don't understand. What are you saying? You've never.
You did
so you
join
go
a gym,
every
didn't you?
day?
Yeah, I joined a gym. I haven't been in so long.
Yeah, that's what everyone does when they join a gym, Dave.
No, they're just taking my money every month.
Yes, but it's too hard to...
Are you still paying?
It's way too hard to confront them and cancel it, so you just let them take
They
it.
call it the lazy tax.
Yeah, Dave.
What? Okay. Well,
There's
if I'm
nothing
not
special.
lazy, do I not have to pay? If you actually go, do you not have to pay? Is that how it works?
Oh, that'd be good.
You should send an email. Get the wheels in motion.
What should I say in the
You
email?
should fake your
Say,
death, I reckon.
Hey, I want to quit. What's the quickest way I can get out of this?
But my dream is that I'll do it.
Oh, well then go do
Then
it.
go-
And
the
after
gym.
hearing this report, I'm already ready to go.
Can
I
I
won't be able to
go-
look at myself in the mirror tomorrow unless I go tonight.
Okay, great. Can I start? They won't know what you look like. Could I use it? Because I would love to have a gym membership.
Yeah. I reckon you just buzz the card.
Oh, great.
I don't never check your ID or anything.
I'm actually more insulted that you've waited for this report to be inspired when I haven't inspired you to go to the gym with my weightlifting.
How many are you pushing these days?
A lot, I reckon, heaps.
Really?
So-
Well, I mean, my Bruce Lee report also didn't inspire me, so...
That's true.
You were leg pushing more
Yeah.
than me and Dave combined last time we spoke.
Yes. I haven't done leg press for a long time. But
Why
yes,
not?
at one
Isn't
point
that
I
your
was
thing?
doing like 140, 150. You do different things at different times. Right now I'm deadlifting and
You
squatting.
said,
Anyway.
I reckon you got up to 170.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. That's
That's-
what you told us like 2 weeks ago.
That's too much.
Mm.
Anyway, in 1965, Arnold served in the Austrian army. 18-year-old Austrian men were at the time required to fulfill 1 year of service, so Arnie went off to do that. However, during basic training, he went AWOL so that he could take part in the Junior Mr. Europe bodybuilding contest. He won, but he spent a week in military prison. He said, participating in the competition meant so much to me that I didn't carefully think through the consequences.
Just broke out of the army.
He broke out of the army so that he could go compete.
And he won.
And he won. Mr. Junior Europe.
And am I also right in that was his first proper bodybuilding competition?
Yeah.
On debut, he beat the other people.
Yeah.
Oh, I reckon he's going to have a pretty good career if he can do that well in his first attempt.
He continued to enter competitions and he gained fame in the bodybuilding community when he was voted Best Built Man of Europe.
Wow.
He had the best body of Europe.
That is, I mean,
The best of Europe.
and that
Best
wasn't
of
enough
Europe.
for him.
Not enough.
I'd rest on my laurels there.
I reckon, I mean, what does it have to be? He has to be the best in the universe? Is that what he wants?
Why, yes, Dave, his eyes were set on the Mr. Universe
It
title.
makes me laugh so much. Why isn't it just Mr. World? I mean,
Mr. Universe. He saw Mr. Universe to be his ticket to America, the land of opportunity. Also, just a quick side note that like Miss Universe is a beauty pageant and Mr. Universe is bodybuilding. Well, I guess you both kind of like...
Yeah.
But I don't think Mr. Universe have to do like a talent section, you know?
Yeah, and they don't ask them about their opinions on stuff.
No. And they
Why
don't make them wear
ask men-
bikinis.
why don't they ask... Basically, they do make them wear bikinis
Oh,
without
yeah.
the top.
Even
But
worse.
they don't even ask the men their opinions on stuff. It's actually a bit sexist.
Yeah. Thank you.
Why don't they start asking men our opinions?
Yeah.
As the feminist of the show, I feel like I can say that.
Yeah.
Because I'm here to speak truth to power.
And we appreciate that because you keep us in check,
Yeah.
you know? And Dave and I are learning every day from you
Well, I would hope so.
about where to see a horse
Yep.
and
Back
about
or front.
what we should start asking men about.
Yeah.
And
stuff.
everything.
Yep.
you say back or front, is that the house or what side of the horse you get to see?
Both.
It's $300 per side.
If you go to the front, you can see the back of the front horse. And if you go to the back, you can see the
Front of the back horse.
front of the back horse.
Oh, so it's $600 for a round trip.
And the front of the back horse is also actually a pack horse, so hopefully that doesn't get confusing.
Don't worry, it won't.
I can't see how that would be. So his first Mr. Universe competition was in 1966 in London.
1966, that's the year that the St Kilda football team won their one and only premiership in the VFL.
Really?
Beating Collingwood by a point.
Is that
when
true?
Barry Breen kicked that infamous wobbly punt that just...
So infamous.
Did it hit the pole?
No, it just snuck in for behind. And that was how we won our premiership.
Wow. Well, Arnold wasn't as lucky because he came in second.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I know.
This is
He,
BS.
I reckon he's going to be pretty upset with himself over that.
There was someone more ripped than Arnie.
Who? Name them.
He was a man named Chester Yorton.
Oh, okay, yep.
He's got chest in his name.
Yeah.
How do you beat that?
It's got a description. My chest is a Yorton right now.
He was an American known as the father of natural bodybuilding for his advocacy of steroid-free bodybuilding.
He's the father of
It's
it.
hard to beat the father of modern bodybuilding.
The daddy.
Yeah.
The daddy of...
The big
Daddy.
daddy.
Daddy!
Daddy,
Show
your
me how-
biceps are bulging.
Thank you, son.
Now off to bed.
Daddy can't feed himself because my arms are too big, but thank you.
Yes, let me tuck you in. No, let your mother do it because I do it too tight. You can't breathe. It's too strong.
That's how I killed 3 of your siblings.
I don't know my own strength, even though I work on my strength every day.
And I honestly, I can measure it very clearly. There are really easy ways for me to know how strong I am. Do you want to see me lift something? Name something, I'll lift it.
That gygometer over there. Is that a thing?
A what?
A guy named Gometer?
Gygometer?
That gygometer over there. Okay, Gometer.
Just go lift up that gigometer.
Gigometer.
I want to see it. I want to measure how strong you are. Lift that gigometer.
One of the judges at the 66 Mr. Universe competition, a man named Charles Bennett, was impressed by Arnie and offered to coach him. Arnie didn't have much money, so Charles let him stay in the family home in London, which Arnie also now credits with him getting the I wrote change, but I meant chance, which Arnie now credits with him getting the chance to improve his English. So Arnie starts working on his leg definition because that was the main area that Yorton had beaten him in.
Oh.
Leg definition.
Or legs.
It's the lower limb. Next.
Great. So
They do ask. There was a spelling and vocabulary competition for Mr. Universe.
leg.
Can
Can I have any of the sentence?
We all thought it.
We basic.
The lower limb used for walking. Ah, yes.
I have a thin leg. This man's leg is much thicker.
Leg. Thank you. May I have a clue?
Letter. L.
And you have the opportunity for three
Three.
letters.
But not what order.
Next letter is E.
Jeez.
Ah.
It's not necessarily the wrong order, though.
May I have the final letter?
Is it gel? It's gel. Is it? Oh, God.
G-E-L. Leg.
English is really weird.
Anyway, so he spends that year training and living with Bennett, and it paid off because in 1967, Arnie took out the title of Mr. Universe for the first time, becoming the youngest ever Mr. Universe at the age of 20.
No! 20.
20
Damn
years
it.
old,
And he
Mr.
came
Universe.
second at 19.
Yeah.
It's funny that he really peaked early, and I guess we won't hear much more of him from here.
Yeah. This was the first of his 4 Mr. Universe titles.
Oh, I see.
That he would win over the following years. The next year, that was 67. Also in 67, he won the Munich stone lifting contest, in which a stone.
Just as prestigious.
This is weird too. It says the stone weighing 508 German pounds.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or it's 560 pounds or 254 kilos. German pounds are different?
Dave, you're the German of the pod.
That's interesting.
I don't remember how.
Oh, that could
different
be
pounds.
old. Who knows? So he's not only doing bodybuilding competitions, he's also competing in weightlifting and powerlifting competitions at the same time. So he's doing bodybuilding, which is just about like flexing and getting your muscles as big as you can. He's doing weightlifting.
Hypertrophy, right? Is that what that is?
Yep. I have no idea. I've never.
Well, I regret bringing it up. I thought you would know.
Why would I know?
Because you're a gym junkie.
Oh, but not bodybuilding. I love.
You're a strength trainer.
Oh, strengths, man.
So, but
Or powerlifting.
He's bodybuilding, so he looks good, but he's also...
weightlifting and powerlifting, and they're different.
Because I once heard a wrestler in the WWF say to another wrestler, I think it was Triple H, to Scott Steiner. Is that his name? No. No. What was that guy's name?
We have to put in a
His nickname
disclaimer
was
at the
Big
end.
Papa Pump.
Big Papa Pump.
And Triple H said to this guy, "You're built for show, but I'm built to go." And then he attacked him. But Arnie is built for show and built to go, which I appreciate.
Yeah, he can do it all. So he won 2 weightlifting contests in 1964 and 65, as well as 2 powerlifting contests in 66 and 68. The difference between the two is that weightlifting uses the clean and jerk, so those over-the-head movements, and powerlifting...
And then you have a little wank.
Then you have a little wank. Powerlifting...
Why are you cleaning first?
Yeah, no, it's all
That's a
backwards.
terrible decision.
Clean and jerk.
And then clean again.
Other way around, actually.
Clean, jerk, clean.
You're cleaning off
English
the person
is
before
very... Oh, that makes sense.
I mean, it'd be much nicer if you cleaned up after you, but it's the system.
Sorry.
It's what they do at the Olympics.
That's what it is.
And the other word...
Powerlifting is like squats, bench press, and deadlifts.
And you're mostly lifting giant stones.
Yeah. No, that was just another thing he did as well.
He did some work labouring and he just turned it into a competition.
Well, actually, after winning his first title, he went to Munich and went to business school and worked in a health club, and then came back in 68 and won Mr. Universe again, all while also competing in powerlifting and weightlifting competitions.
So
It's insane.
they don't pay the bills, the weightlifting and powerlifting and
No,
stuff.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I never read anything about like prize money or
You
whatever.
think Mr. Universe wouldn't have to get a day job, but
Surely. Imagine being Mr. Universe, winning that, and then going to your 9 to 5 the next day. You know?
And then they'd be like, someone's like, Arnie, congratulations on winning Mr. Universe. And if you could just clean that toilet, that would be fantastic.
Thanks so much.
Clean
Remember,
and
meeting
jerk that
at
toilet.
11. All this time, Arnie dreamt of being a famous actor in America,
As if.
a place he had wanted to move to since he was 10 years old.
and he always wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
So did he see the weightlifting as a stepping stone?
That's literally my next sentence.
No kidding.
Naturally, bodybuilding is the first stepping stone to a career in the movies. Yeah, he sort of saw it as an in.
Right.
And if you could lift up that stone, you'll be in.
Because it also, I feel like I remember someone saying that he was sort of, people laughed at him for even attempting to move into Hollywood acting.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't happen all that often, really, does it, that transition?
No. There was a bit of a time of like big muscly guys.
Yeah.
It's like the 80s. Maybe he started it, but like Jean-Claude Van Damme and people like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what his backstory was.
Well,
Chuck Norris?
maybe we could do a report.
Chuck Norris, but he's not as muscular as those other
No,
guys.
he's more of a...
He's a sort of... Remember he was in that Bruce Lee film that we talked about a
martial
few
arts
weeks
guy.
ago.
So Arnie did eventually move to the US in 1968. He was 21, spoke very limited English, but he had a pocket full of dreams.
Yep, and he knew what gel meant.
He did. Backwards and forwards. He trained at Gold's Gym in Venice, Los Angeles, and he worked his butt off. And he was chosen to play the role of Hercules in 1969's Hercules in New York. He was credited under the stage name Arnold Strong. And his accent in the film was so thick that his lines were dubbed after production.
Wow.
But that was his first role.
Hercules in New York sounds cool.
And Arnold Strong. They're like, Schwarzenegger, don't like it.
No.
Let's come up with something like a normal surname, like Strong.
Yeah. Like they couldn't have just shortened it to Schwartz.
Yeah, that's fine. Or Smith, if you really want to.
Strong.
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 In 1970, at the age of 23, he captured his first Mr. Olympia title, somehow even bigger than Mr. Universe.
That's funny.
The competition was in New York, and again, it made him the youngest person to win, a title he still holds today. He was 23 years old, the youngest ever Mr. Olympia.
Right.
So that was in 1970. In 1971, tragedy struck. His brother Meinhard died in a car crash on May 20 of 71. He was driving drunk and died instantly.
Shit.
But he was engaged to a woman called Erica Knapp, and they had a 3-year-old son named Patrick. For reasons that aren't clear, Arnold didn't attend his brother's funeral. He did, however, apparently pay for his nephew Patrick's education and later helped him move to the US, but it's not clear why he didn't go home for his brother's funeral. Their father Gustav died from a stroke the following year on December 3rd, 1972, and once again, Arnie didn't go home to attend the funeral.
It's a real rough trot, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In Pumping Iron, which you mentioned before, Dave, it was a documentary, a docudrama, which was filmed in 1977. Schwarzenegger claimed that he did not attend his father's funeral because he was training for a bodybuilding contest. But later, he and the film's producer said this story was taken from another bodybuilder to show the extremes some would go to for their sport and to make Schwarzenegger's image colder to create controversy for the film. So they just sort of made that up.
Right.
But Arnie's earliest girlfriend, his first girlfriend, recalled that when he told her of his father's death, he did it with no emotion and he never spoke of his brother. And over time, he's given at least 3 different versions of why he was absent from his father's funeral.
Strange.
Yeah, no, a terrible relationship with his dad, but didn't go back for his father's or brother's funerals. So, 1971, he wins Mr. Olympia. And then he goes on to win the title a total of 7 times, all while also working on his acting career. His second film appearance was as a deaf-mute mob hitman in The Long Goodbye in 1973
So you've gone from the title role.
to a deaf-mute mob hitman. It's hard to say. Deaf-mute mob hitman.
But maybe that was a title role as well. Maybe he was the one giving the slow goodbye.
Or the long goodbye.
That's true.
Either or.
Well, the reason it went for so long is because he did it slowly.
Yes. Yep. No, you got me there. And a couple of years later, a few months before the 1975 Mr. Olympia contest, filmmakers George Butler and Robert Fiore persuaded Arnie to compete again in the Mr. Olympia contest in order to film his training in the bodybuilding documentary called Pumping Iron. He had only had 3 months to prepare for the competition after losing significant weight to appear in a film called Stay Hungry, which came out the following year in 1976, and he won the Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year actor.
Wow.
Won a Golden Globe.
Didn't realize that. That award doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, does
I
it?
don't think so, no. Well, no, yeah.
New Star of the Year or
There's
what?
so many, it's still they don't have it. There must have been millions back then.
Yeah. So he'd sort of stopped training, lost a bunch of weight to star in this film, and then they're like, no, but we want you to compete so that you can be in our documentary. So he had 3 months to prepare for the competition, and he was up against the taller and bigger Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, see the Hulk?
Yeah. Yes, he is. Despite that, the lighter-than-usual Schwarzenegger convincingly won the 1975 Mr. Olympia. And after that competition, he announced his retirement from professional bodybuilding.
How subjective are these things? Because it's like, who looks the biggest? Like they're like, people score out of 10 or something?
Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah, there's also like symmetry and things like that.
Yeah,
Right.
and the muscle definition,
It feels
because
like-
that's what he kind of lost on with that earlier competition, because the other guy's legs were more defined
Right.
and muscular.
And when, like, who lifts the most weight? That's an easy one to figure out who won, but...
Yeah, true, yeah. But with bodybuilding, it's just sort of based on
It's like sickest rig, who is it?
Yeah.
me, obviously. But
Yeah. Well, I
or did you mean in that competition?
In that competition.
Not in this room.
Because you
No.
didn't compete that day.
No, I was busy.
Yeah, where were you?
Luckily for them.
You were late.
I was busy. That's my business, Dave. I was busy. Okay?
This isn't Miss Universe now, okay? You can't just
Yeah,
ask
you don't just
questions.
ask questions.
Spell leg!
G. So he's retired. He's retiring from professional bodybuilding, and film work was picking up for him, and so he decided to put down the weights for now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he's going to pick him up later. That's what I inferred from that.
So the documentary Pumping Iron helped boost his profile, but it still wasn't that easy for him to break into the industry or be taken seriously.
He's won a Golden Globe, for God's sake.
Yeah, but he says it was very difficult for me in the beginning. I was told by agents and casting people that my body was too weird, that I had a funny accent, and that my name was too long. You name it, and they told me I had to change it. Basically everywhere I turned, I was told I had no chance. He auditioned for the title role of the Incredible Hulk, but did not win the role because of his height. I think he was too short. Yeah. This role famously went to his former opponent, Lou Ferrigno.
Damn you.
Imagine if Arnie had been the Hulk. Anyway, his breakthrough film was the epic Conan the Barbarian, and while he was training for the role, he got into such good shape because of the running, horseback riding, and sword training. Horseback riding.
Want to see a horse? Want to ride a horse?
Only the back.
The horse would see his legs coming and be like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get on me, please.
Please, no.
Those things are so heavy.
Crunch him in half.
Oh, yeah, it must have to be a Clydesdale or something, like a big horse.
The biggest horse in the world.
So he's he's training for this role, but he's getting kind of ripped. So he decides he wants to win the Mr. Olympia contest one last time.
Everyone else is
Not
like,
compete, win.
please don't enter. You've had this 7 or 8 times.
He's like, you know what? I retired a few years ago, but I'm training. I'm looking pretty good.
All I have to do is ride a horse and I'm still better than everyone.
It's ridiculous. But he kept his plan a secret in the event that a training accident would prevent him from competing, and it would he'd lose face.
Everyone's embarrassed. He's embarrassed because he fell off a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez, imagine how buff that horse must have got.
so
Oh.
buff. I think there was even something like they had asked Arnie to be one of the commentators for this event, and then sort of at the last minute he turned around and went, actually I'm competing, and they're like, okay, well great, now we need to find a new
He ripped off
commentator.
his suit. It had
He
those
jumped in.
buttons done up the side so he could rip it off.
How do you suspect he went?
Well, just because you're bringing it up, I
Top
think
top 5.
I reckon, yeah, I'd say top couple. But I think a new kid on the block named John Stamos took the title.
He's a big guy.
Well, with only 7 weeks of preparation,
Yep.
he won.
He beat Stamos?
He beat Stamos, and then he officially went back into retirement.
Oh, Stamos will never be an actor
Go
now.
back to retirement for like a couple more weeks.
For another, yeah. So 7 weeks training, 7 weeks of preparation, he wins.
That's wild.
He's just like, it's too easy for him. He's
Yeah.
like, ugh,
Give me a
yawn.
challenge.
Oh, you want to see my bicep? Here you go. Pow! You
Yeah.
know? He's too good at it. So then Conan the Barbarian comes out in 1982, and it's a box office hit. It was obviously followed by a sequel, Conan the Destroyer, in 1984, which was less successful because sequels usually are.
Oh, not with Arnie.
Or with second children. We are the... Mwah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We all second children.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
Look at us go. We're all killing it. All of our parents are very proud, and they all definitely understand what podcasts are. Then, of course, we come to 1984 and The Terminator. A cult classic. Many still think of this as his signature role of Arnie's career. And he made a number of successful action films in the 80s, such as Commando, Raw Deal. That's a bad name. The Running Man, Predator, and Red Heat. He was so prolific in this time, he also starred in Twins with Danny DeVito in 1988, and my personal favourite, Kindergarten Cop, in 1990.
It's a great film.
It's so
They're all
good.
All those films are great.
It's not a tumor. What episode was it recently that I lost it over that? It's not a puma.
Can't remember.
Can't remember. It was late. It was in the Patreon section of one of the...
Was it?
Like the Patreon read, I think. Something
Right
like-
at the end.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. God, that was fun. Anyway, Kindergarten Cop, fantastic film. His commercial peak was his return as a title character in 1991's Terminator 2, Judgment Day,
Huh? Cop that sequels.
the highest grossing film of 1991.
And probably my favourite film of all time.
Whoa! Will you be mad at me if I tell you I haven't seen any Terminator films?
Really?
Will you
Wow.
be mad at me if I tell you I haven't seen any Terminator films?
Neither of you have seen Terminator 1 nor 2.
Nah.
I've seen parts of them, I think.
Number 1, great storyline, but sadly the special effects and filmmaking wasn't quite there yet.
Okay.
Terminator 2, great storyline, great acting from Arnie, and also the special effects somehow still hold up and look
Right.
really
great.
It looks awesome.
I've seen it parodied.
I
Like
think
in
it was
Wayne's
'cause-
World, I think.
Yeah, yes, I've seen that.
That's
I
it.
think
Next
it's just-
Patreon bonus, we're watching Terminator 2 and we're going to talk about it.
Can I watch Terminator 1 first?
Yeah.
I think it was just because it was early 90s, so I was a tiny child.
Oh, but what about Channel 10 played it every second Saturday night? Seriously, it was
think
on
I was-
all the time.
I was too scared.
It's yeah. I don't know why I've just never seen it.
Yeah. Just, we all have those gaps.
Yeah, I'm not offended, but I just think that do yourself a favour because I love it so
Have
much.
you seen Back to the Future yet, trilogy?
I've seen number 1, the original.
That's a great movie.
I hadn't seen
Probably my
Jurassic
favourite of the
Park
three.
for a very long time. I've seen it now, but I reckon I saw it properly in full for the first time 2 years ago.
Yeah, right. Does that hold up?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
special effects, because they went with puppets and stuff.
Yeah.
It held up pretty well.
And it was one of those things where, like, someone had said, you've got to watch it. And they did that for so long that I was like, fine, I give in. We had a movie night. I sat down. I'm reluctant.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get it over and done
Yeah, it
with.
seems stupid.
I'm like, this is going to be dumb. This is
Dinosaur
not my
Island
type of
sounds
movie.
dumb.
And I fucking loved it. And now I'm asking that person, hey, can we watch Jurassic Park again? And they're like, we just watched it. I'm like, but I want to watch
I haven't
Jurassic
seen
Park.
it in ages.
But number 2.
Yeah. Oh, no, I've seen them all now.
All right.
And the Jurassic Worlds.
Yeah, they're fun. They're
pretty
plain
good.
movies. I watch them on a blind.
I mean,
Yeah.
I do a very good impression of Chris Pratt in Jurassic World. It doesn't work for a podcast, but basically all he does is look into the middle distance and glare, kind of, you know.
All right, well, do it and we'll give the reaction.
No, now I've talked it up too much, and you're going to mock me.
Oh, we'd never
Was that
mock.
your Pratt?
Yeah, was that good? He
Is he-
ties into this
Is
actually.
he self-conscious? He does tie into Arnie's family, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I'll tell you later. Anyway, so in 1993, the National Association of Theatre Owners named him International Star of the Decade. Just thought that was worth mentioning. Star of the Decade in 93. You've called it.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how big Terminator 2 was.
You've called it now. You're not going to give it a few more years?
Well, it could be the decade of 82 to 93, I
That's
guess.
dumb. Why are you doing that?
I'm not sure.
Stop
But
it.
that's
Stop it at once.
The Theatre Network of America, they're wild cards.
Yeah, they're crazy.
They're rebels. They're cowboys.
And this is for an actor that was told his name was weird,
Yep.
voice is
his
weird.
voice was weird,
His body was
size
weird.
was weird. He can't act.
Some of the
He'll
key
never be in a
things.
comedy.
You can't park
That's
there,
what I love
sir,
about
it's
Arnie.
reserved.
So he's like in action movies, right? And he absolutely nails that. Obviously, like Terminator is built for him because he moves and like sounds like a machine, basically. But then he's like, all right, I'll do comedies as well. And he's really good at. He's
Yeah,
really
he's
funny.
very funny.
He's really funny.
Kindergarten Cop is funny.
It's so funny.
The Eraser, very funny.
Great movie. There's guns that can see through walls.
Amazing stuff.
Very
How do they
funny.
think of that? How do they think of that? These Hollywood execs. Wow.
We're coming up to a
True
couple of
Lies,
mine.
very funny.
We're coming up to that one, which is definitely a fave of mine. Well, his next film project was a 1993 self-aware action comedy, Last Action Hero, which I love. But it was released opposite Jurassic Park and did not do well in the box office.
Damn.
But I love it.
It is
I
fun.
haven't seen that either. Is that the one that
It's fun.
starts on the football field and the guy pulls his gun out and kills all the gridiron players? That's a different Last Boy
No.
Scout. Is that? That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen that either.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
And his next film was comedy drama True Lies in 1994, which was a personal favourite of my brother and I.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
That was a film
Jamie
that was
Lee
played
Curtis?
on Channel 10
So
every
you
Saturday
guys were
night.
allowed to watch that, but not Terminator 2.
Yeah.
They
don't
would probably
think it
do
was-
a double feature.
It was so good. It was funny. Tom Arnold's in there as
Yeah.
his buddy.
That's another
Jamie
James
Lee Curtis.
Cameron?
Yeah, I
Another
think
James Cameron.
So
Oh,
they
right.
worked together quite a bit, and I didn't write it down. That might be a James Cameron. Oh, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Our favourite line to quote is when they've given him truth serum, and his wife says, "Have you ever killed anybody?" Because she's only just found out that he's a secret agent. She goes, "Have you ever killed anybody?" And he goes, "Yeah, but they were all bad." Very funny. Can justify murder. Anyway, that same year, the comedy Junior was released, which earned him his second Golden Globe nomination, this time for Best Actor in Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy.
And this is where he gave birth or got pregnant.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Another
that
film
either.
with Danny DeVito.
That's
Is Danny DeVito in that one? Yes.
Have you seen an Arnie movie?
Well, that's what I'm starting to
Do you
think.
know who Arnie
I've
is?
seen True Lies a lot, but not for a long time. I've seen Kindergarten Cop. I've seen Eraser.
Which is the next
Eraser.
one.
I actually love Eraser.
I haven't seen it, but that's the next film that follows. Eraser in
I've
1996.
seen The Batman where he was
Yep.
Dr. Freeze.
Batman and
It
Robin.
was in 1997. In between those two was the Christmas comedy Jingle All the Way.
Seen that? That's
Great.
pretty fun. It's a bit of good fun.
Is that the one where he's
With
trying to find the
Sinbad?
toy with
Yeah.
for his son? Mm,
I've seen Christmas with the Cranks, which isn't him.
not the same. Have you seen Santa
That's-
Claus?
Yeah, yes, I saw that a long time ago.
Right.
I recall it being
Fine.
fine as a child,
Yeah, yeah,
but I imagine it probably wouldn't be anymore. I'm starting to think of Tim Allen movies.
yeah. No, we're talking about Arnie.
Arnie.
Well, after Batman and Robin, he took a break from films to recover from a back injury and didn't appear in a movie for a couple of years.
Pretty hard when
Nice
he's
to meet you.
yeah, he's back sore after carrying that entire film.
Who was the Batman in that?
George Clooney.
Oh,
That's the one that's seen as being the low point for Batman.
But at the time, I was 8 years old.
yeah.
Is that about 98?
97.
I remember getting toys for my birthday that year that were Batman and Robin. And I loved it because
Yeah,
it
it
was
was-
sort of aimed at the kids. It's a kids
built for
movie,
kids,
really, that
yeah.
one.
Yeah, right.
But then as an adult, you go back and you're like, oh, that's pretty bad.
I think I might have even seen it at the cinemas and thought it was fun. But it was at the time where I thought anything at the cinema was good. I think it wasn't until I was an adult maybe that I started not enjoying occasional films at the cinema. I'd be like, this sucks. What the hell?
Damn.
But overall, I'm still happy to see anything at the cinema because I get popcorn and a comfy chair
Right.
for a bit.
That's good. But
I like that.
there's nothing more annoying than having all of that and the movie being shit. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm fidgety because
Yeah.
I know I'm trapped in this fucking shit movie for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then that would never cross my mind. This is great. Look at it, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's silver.
Can I tell you about my most recent movie experience?
Yes, please.
Friend of the studio and us and podcast, Beck Petratus, and I went to see Frozen 2 because we hadn't seen Frozen 2 yet and it had been out for ages. So we go, and I've got a comfy chair. It's a recliner. I got a popcorn, and I got a choc top. I'm like, I'm in heaven. I don't care if this movie's terrible or not. And in like one of the earliest scenes, there's a bunch of villagers, like, and they're working as a team. So one's got the fish, and he's like throwing it to someone else, who throws it to someone else, who throws it to the little snowman.
I forgot we were talking about Frozen 2 for a second, and I started imagining Terminator 2 again. I don't remember this scene. Sorry, please do go on about it.
They throw the fish from person to person, and then they throw it to the little snowman, and he throws it straight back into the water. And just like the beats, it just took me by surprise, and I laughed for a solid 10 minutes. It's like a young family in front of me, and I was dying laughing.
So you've ruined the movie for them.
Potentially. Oh my
that
God.
Family hates joy.
It killed me. It was so funny.
Well, spoiler alert. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't
There's
seen
a
it yet,
fish.
including me. Have you seen it yet, Dave?
No, it was on my list.
I've not ruined anything for you,
Okay.
but I can.
Is Arnie in it?
Yes.
Does he play that snowman?
Yes.
You do it well.
He does
You
it
can do
really
it all.
well.
You can do it all.
He's got such range. Anyway, so he takes a break from films for a couple of years to recover from a back injury, and he returned to the screen in End of Days in 1999, later followed by the action films The Sixth Day, Collateral Damage, both of which failed to do well at the box office.
Oh, I recently watched The Sixth Day for the first time.
What's it about?
Clones.
Yeah, I feel like I might have seen that. You know what? One day back then as a teen, you know, when you're in some random house drinking beers and then the movie comes on.
Comes right, yes.
Yeah, I reckon I've got a vague memory of
Yeah.
it not like that.
I've
Coming in
seen-
halfay through, and you're like, what's going on?
Who is this?
Who are
Yeah,
these clones?
And yeah, 'cause that would be confusing actually, because he gets cloned basically. That's the
Oh,
concept.
right.
And he doesn't know.
Yes, that's actually exactly what it is.
Spoiler alert.
I reckon that was me with Collateral Damage, not drinking beers because it came out in 2002, but I reckon it would have been like a film that my parents had hired from Blockbuster.
Good thing about movies is they exist from when they come out onwards.
What do you mean?
Well, potentially you watched it a few years later and
No, but it came out in 2002, and that's the only time you could have seen it.
Okay. No, I didn't put that together. Yeah, that makes sense now.
I was 12. Was I 12 then?
Yeah,
I was 12.
2002.
for the last 4 months of the year, yeah.
Okay, I was 11 or 12, depending on at what time my parents rented this film from Blockbuster. Maybe they rented it the next year. Oh, I see what you were getting at before now. Okay. You can watch movies later.
You can. You don't have to.
And it doesn't sound like either of you do when it comes to Arnie.
If I miss it,
The
I missed
Eraser.
it.
I'm hope there'll be more on this list. True Lies, probably about 12 times.
Yeah, easily.
Have you seen? You've seen Kindergarten Cop though? Have we talked
Kindergarten Cop I've seen quite a few times.
Okay.
I reckon. But
Who
Twins?
was your
I haven't seen
daddy?
any of these for a long time.
Twins?
What's
Never
ano-
seen. I've seen a part of Twins on TV.
What's another line from Kindergarten Cop?
About?
Who is your daddy? What does he do?
Another line is, our mom says our dad's a walking sex machine. My dad's a gynecologist. He looks at girls' vaginas all day long. It is so funny.
I don't remember any of that.
It's funny because Dave is so believable as a child.
Yeah, I don't want to be a princess. I don't want to be a police officer. I want to be a princess.
I remember the bad guy. The kid's dad had
Yeah.
a long ponytail.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Oh, you ruined it. That was a big reveal. Flapping in the wind, his ponytail.
He had it twirled up under a beanie the whole film. And then at one point he takes off his and he flicks it out.
It's beautiful,
Beautiful.
man.
Have I
And then he
talked?
takes off his glasses.
And you're like,
Oh my god, he's the belle of the ball.
I talked about this on the pod that when I was in Japan 4 years ago, girlfriend and I both got very sick with food poisoning, and we were trapped in the hotel, couldn't go out, both feeling really sick. And we said, "Oh, let's rent a movie, watch it on the iPad." And we're like, "Kindergarten Cop, that's really funny. We'll watch that."
oh no.
Forgetting that the whole plot of the film is that he has to step in pretending to be a kindergarten teacher because his partner gets extremely ill with gastro. So the first
Yeah.
10 minutes of the film are her vomiting, shit, and all, like absolutely being really, really sick. So we're watching and going, oh no, oh no.
Finding it triggering?
Yeah, it's so triggering. When you feel sick. Oh, this comedy will distract us. Oh my God, she's vomiting everywhere.
That's not good. But it is a great film.
It is a great film.
That's the most
But he's
important
taken a
part.
break from this because of his sore back.
Well, he's kind of back now, and then in 2003, he made his third appearance as the title character in Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
I would say don't worry about it.
Well, it went on to earn over 150 million domestically, equivalent to 208 million today.
That's okay.
It did all right.
That's profit. That's pretty...
No, that's not profit.
Okay.
It's
No.
gross.
It cost $1 billion to make.
So a little bit of a change of pace here. Schwarzenegger has been a registered Republican for many years. When he was an actor, his political views were always well known because it was a different view to a lot of his peers who tended to be liberal and democratic leaning. At the 2004 Republican National Convention, he gave a speech and explained he was a Republican because of the Democrats of the 1960s. Because the Democrats of the 60s sounded too much like Austrian socialists. Now, I was joking before, but his speech literally started with, I finally arrived here in 1968. What a special day it was. I remember I arrived here with empty pockets, but full of dreams, full of determination, full of desire. That's how a grown man started his speech.
Oh.
Very cute. He announced his candidacy in the 2003 California recall election for governor of California on August 6, 2003. Do you remember how he made the announcement? You know, some people might do like a press conference or tweet it or whatever.
Rocket Pack.
Rocket Pack, Dave? Any?
I don't know. Was he wearing a leather jacket and those sunglasses from Terminator? I can't remember.
I'm not sure what he was wearing, but he was on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Ah.
He was interviewed and he announced his candidacy.
You do a good Leno, I reckon, because it wouldn't be that far different from some of your other characters.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Nailed it.
I never really watched much Leno, I must admit.
Yeah, we can tell.
I just did all my characters put together and I thought that might...
That wasn't miles away.
Thank you. And I also was wearing a big chin.
You really wore that chin.
Where did you get it
I always carry a big
so
chin.
quickly?
I always carry a big chin, really big.
Anyway, so he's a really big show. He's announced his candidacy, and he had the most name recognition in the field of candidates.
Really? Name some of the others, probably actual politicians we've never heard of.
But he never held
Rick Sanders.
he never held public office, and his political views were unknown to most Californians. So some people were a bit like, this is not going to happen. His candidacy immediately became national and international news, with media outlets dubbing him the Governator and the Running Man, and calling the recall election Total Recall.
That's funny.
Obviously, at this time, the media are trying to dig up anything they possibly can. And so his father, Gustav, let's remember that he voluntarily joined the Nazi Party in 1938. His background received wide press attention during this recall campaign. So Arnie commissioned someone to research his father's wartime record, which came up with no evidence of Gustav being involved in any atrocities, despite him being a member of the Nazi Party.
Oh, no atrocities. That's good.
So he was one of, like, the nicer Nazis, you know?
When you do a background check, a police check, atrocity check, are you able to work with these children?
He's just like a Nazi doing admin, you know?
I mean, I think a lot of them said that at the end.
Exactly. That's why I find like, no, he didn't.
Nah,
He was fine. He was
It's a
fine.
lot of pencil pushing. Don't worry about me.
Don't worry about it. So on October 7, 2003, the recall election resulted in Governor Gray Davis being removed from office and Schwarzenegger being elected governor of California. Huge.
It's wild because their economy is like equal to like if you take just that state, it's like top 20 in the world or something.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So much money. Yeah.
Yeah. I won't talk heaps about his political career because I don't understand it. But
Governator, huh?
I don't get it. But like, if I didn't mention it, I'd get tweets. So I've mentioned it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll talk about a couple of things though.
I mean, you've got 3 lifetimes that are report worthy.
Totally. Yeah. You can't possibly. I'm missing so much in this report. Honestly, it's insane.
Did you come across-
wild the people when we talk about them and they go, "Oh, you know them for this. They were great actor, which is probably what I first think of when I think of Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
There you go. You forget he had you don't really forget because it's pretty well known, but this whole career as Mr. Universe, Mr. Olympia, record-breaking bodybuilder.
Yeah, and
I didn't know about the strength stuff as well.
But did you come across that before he was an actor? He was also an extremely good businessman, and he was a millionaire.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it.
Oh,
I didn't.
blows my mind.
He was a millionaire before he was 30.
Really?
He moved to America with nothing, and I'll talk about it later, but he just like started businesses and invested well.
That's why I also find him inspiring, because of that kind of stuff.
He's just like, he just works really hard. Yes.
I've looked it up just to fact check myself here. The economy of California is the largest in the USA. If California were a sovereign nation in 2020, it would rank as the world's 6th largest economy.
Wow.
Ahead of the UK and behind India.
Where are we?
Bloody hell.
Oh, is top 50 good?
Is it? I don't know.
Well, was their population bigger than ours, just in California, I would have thought? I would have thought probably by a fair margin.
Land-wise, we are massive.
We're about the same size as the USA.
Yeah.
A little bit
California
smaller.
is just under 40 million people.
Yeah, so they've got
I thought we
something
were a
towards
little bit
double.
bigger.
I think we're
land-wise.
a little smaller.
We're somewhere. We're either a little bit bigger
Yep.
or a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Definitely one.
Or
of the
exactly
two.
the same. Or
To the
exactly same.
millimeter.
I don't think that we're exactly the same, Dave. Get your head out of your butt.
Literally, Dave.
Dave,
It's weird.
honestly, how are you doing that?
Oh, my chin's that big.
I looked up the whole Schwarzenegger discography, and I really have only seen about 4 of his films.
Filmography?
And filmography.
I've listened to many of his
He's
albums.
laid down a few tracks.
Yeah, right. You got to do a bit of an Arnie binge, maybe.
It's the kind of actor that I would have assumed I would have seen 20 films.
You know, when people say who's your favourite actor, I'd probably say Arnie.
Really?
Really?
Every film I just love him in it.
And you love his acting in it?
Who's your favourite
Yeah.
star? I don't think you're saying he's your favourite actor, Dave.
Do you know what I reckon?
I think I am.
I might even say, Tooch.
Ah, the Tooch is great.
I
And
love the Tooch.
I don't remember the context of a lot of people tweeted me about the Tooch after the episode that you talked about with
Julia Child.
Julia Child.
He plays her husband.
And okay.
You don't remember why.
I don't remember why
right.
everyone was tweeting at me about the Tooch, because I like the Tooch.
Because you thought it would be funny if he was called Stanley Poochie, I believe. And it was a dog called... I think that's the train of thought you were trying to...
Yeah.
And you laughed out loud a lot, like Jess at Frozen 2.
Oh my
Okay.
God. But honestly,
Well,
you don't
apologies for that.
understand. Like, just the perfect pacing of them throwing this fish to one another and then he just throws it into the water. It's very funny.
I'm very sorry to the Julia Child's heads out there who I ruined that experience of. But Stanley Poochie, that's good.
That's good stuff.
That's
stuff.
good stuff.
stuff.
And I said that out loud and then laughed.
Oh, yeah.
A good bit is a good bit.
This is why I have not had the guts to go back and listen to that episode. But yeah, no, obviously I was only being facetious there. You love whoever you want as your favourite actor.
Thank you so much.
He's a great actor. Like you said, not many can do action and comedy.
And politics. And
That's right. And
weightlifting.
bodybuilding.
And
Because-
business.
Here's a couple of things about his political career. Because of his personal wealth from his acting career, he did not accept his governor's salary of $175,000 a year.
Oh.
He was like,
Pit
keep
or
your
posh.
money. He's like, I wipe my ass with 175 grand.
Why, Maya?
I imagine he's got a big ass.
Yeah, he would. He'd have huge... What are those muscles?
Glutes.
Glutes.
God, you don't even know that.
I was going to say quads, but they're lower.
No.
They're not lower than your glutes?
Well, your quads are these ones.
If you have...
Well, all right. Is that higher
That
or
is
lower?
lower.
Okay. Are we going to take it back?
No.
That scorn in your voice, we're going to take that back.
Oh, I hated that tone so much.
It would be difficult to move if your quads are as big as those bodybuilders.
Quite genuinely, some of them can't like put a spoon to their mouth because their biceps are so
I think
big.
I've actually heard Arnie talk about that. Maybe in the Pumping Iron documentary, he talks about not being able to brush his teeth.
Can't do it because his muscles
Yeah,
are
you
too
can't
big.
That's...
That makes it seem a bit silly. It feels like in those competitions there should be an asterisk unless you can do normal things. You got to prove that you can brush your teeth, eat cornflakes,
How would you like?
wipe your ass
How would you
on
bite?
stage.
the practicality test.
Yeah.
How would you like buy clothes? Nothing, because your body would just be in strange.
You'd stand there and
portions.
they'd have to like build it around
Do
you.
you think
Yeah.
I'd never have clothes on if I had muscles that big.
But what about the proportion, Dave? Because you're going to look small.
What do you mean?
Well,
So what,
with
Dave?
everything else looking very big, there's one muscle you can't really
I've been
work
working
on.
that. I've been working that out non-stop.
You're working, so that's why you haven't been going to the gym. I guess. You've been focused on one muscle.
Yeah, because I got kicked out of the gym for that, so I thought, well, I'll do it at home.
The clean and jerk.
Whatever. Clean and jerk. Not much cleaning, let me tell you that.
Some speculated that Arnie might run for Senate in 2010, but that didn't eventuate. Other people said that he would run for president, but he can't run for
not
president
allowed.
because he's not a natural-born citizen of the United States, and he has a dual Austrian-United States citizen. He has held Austrian citizenship, obviously, since birth, and then he became a naturalized US citizen in 1983. Apparently, Austria don't usually allow dual citizenships, but he asked for an exception, and they granted it.
I feel like he's a bit of an asset for them.
Yeah, don't relinquish Arnie.
No, you'd have to give up Arnie. You're an idiot if you do that.
Don't do that.
They'd be
Say,
called the
no,
Arnie,
that's fine.
the
Yeah.
Arnie clause or something.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I also think it's not to talk about other countries' politics, but it doesn't seem to make sense that you can't be the leader of the country just because you were born somewhere else. There would be a reason for that.
I think that's just definitely
would have
in
been
the
written way
Constitution,
back in the old days.
yeah.
No, I understand that it is a thing. I just don't know if I don't really understand why that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Why is it okay to be the governor and do anything else but not be the president?
Well,
Yeah, they're a bit funny about stuff like that in America.
but speaking of, there was in 2003 when he became governor, there was the Equal Opportunity to Govern Amendment, which was widely called the Amend for Arnold Bill, which would have added an amendment to the US Constitution allowing him to run for president.
Right. Feels like he'd be a good president, even though I don't understand that at all.
Well, he was
Just a vibe thing.
He did some good things or some popular things as governor, but others not great. And he began his tenure as governor with a record high approval ratings, as high as 65% in May of 2004. And when he left office, it was a record low at 23%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Only 1% higher than Gray Davis, who he had replaced
Oh, Gray Davis.
when
He
Gray
sounds-
Davis was
Oh,
recalled.
no.
Doesn't sound good.
That's an uninspiring name. They should call him, like,
Grey
Hi.
Day. He's got Grey Day in his
Oh,
name.
he has Grey Day in his
Oh.
name.
call him Grey Strong or something.
I didn't
Yeah.
realise that Arnie was... So he was an unpopular... Not that being popular is everything, but yeah...
I said it's pretty popular, and I thought he did a lot of green policy and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
And he describes himself as like fiscally conservative but socially liberal.
I love the word fiscally. It's so fun.
So fun.
Actually fiscally responsible, so you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about me.
So he was definitely he was pro-choice and pro-gay marriage and stuff like that. But other parts of him were more conservative.
Yeah.
So,
Put the poor in the bin.
yeah, get the poor in the bin, but let the gays
the-
be wed.
Pour the poor in the bin.
Pour the poor in the bin. It's got to be catchy with politics. That's how it goes. Just weeks after he left office, he announced that he was reading a bunch of scripts, and he appeared in The Expendables 2, let's not forget, in 2012.
I remember.
Expendables 2.
I saw it.
And he starred in The Last Stand in 2013.
Oh, Johnny Knoxville. I actually have not seen that
I
one.
haven't seen that
Are
one.
you sure that's not the Cold Chisel concert film?
The Last Stand. This is his first leading role in 10 years.
Yeah,
So it's a
right.
long time between drinks.
It's fun that he went back.
Yeah.
I was the governor for a while. Back in Hollywood now.
Then, of course, there was Expendables 3 in 2014.
Who could forget?
We all remember. And then he starred in the fifth Terminator movie, Terminator Genisys, in 2015. Dave, any comment?
No, I don't really keep up with those ones.
You're over it.
Really? You love them and you've dropped them?
Yeah, like all those ones with Christian Bale and things like that.
Then there was another one last year.
Yeah, Dark Fate. I actually haven't seen that
I
either.
thought I heard that was pretty good.
I didn't even know it existed.
Because Linda Hamilton was back for that as well.
People are like, why is he aged? But it's something about organic material or something.
Everything ages, man. Frogs age.
Yeah, think about that. You don't think the
Baby
Terminator's
frog's
gonna...
different to a big frog.
Yeah, tadpoles are different again. I don't know what order it is, but at one point during a frog's life, there was tadpole. Somewhere in the middle, I think.
And at one point, they're dinner,
Yeah.
if you're French.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not get anti-en français.
Oh, I am pro en français.
Oh, wait.
I'm so excited for us three to have a Terminator movie night.
No.
Can we please do that?
I'm up for it. Let's at a cinema.
Can I have popcorn?
Does it still play?
Every now and then the Astor plays them.
Love it.
Can I have popcorn?
Yeah.
All right,
course.
then I'm in.
I like popcorn.
Okay, you want some?
You can have a comfy chair as well.
Can I have choc top?
Yes, I love choc tops. They're my favourite cinema
I
snack.
alternate between mint and salted caramel.
Oh, okay. I sometimes like boysenberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like boysenberry, mint, vanilla.
Vanilla? What a waste.
And I also actually just like chocolate. You got the chocolate ice cream covered in chocolate.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But I would say I would always get mint, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd make no apologies for that.
So this is the thing we were talking about before. So he's a millionaire by the age of 30, well before his career in Hollywood.
Which blew my mind when I found that out.
So when he first moved to the States, he started a bricklaying business with a friend. The business flourished thanks to their marketing savvy and an increased demand following the 1971 San Fernando earthquake. They got lucky that there was an earthquake. He and his business partner, Columbu, used profits from their bricklaying venture to start a mail-order business selling bodybuilding and fitness-related equipment and instructional tapes. And with that money, he invested in real estate, buying, it says, an apartment building for $10,000.
Yeah, I've heard him talk about that. Now,
A whole building?
yeah, because he talked about how prices were really, really low and that when he first moved to America, he couldn't get work or something like that, so he had a lot of free time. So he would just go to all the open for inspections and he would spend all day walking around the city. So he just became sort of like an expert.
Wow.
Taught himself. And then just made really wise decisions. And I have heard him talk about now how it's not worth it because stuff doesn't go up. Is not inflating quick enough.
Yeah,
but at the
right.
time, you'd buy really low, do it up a bit, and then sell really, really high because the prices were increasing like crazy.
He
And
also
That's how he
invested...
became a millionaire. It's amazing. He's a really smart guy.
Yeah, and he invested in a shopping mall
How much money do you have to invest in a
in
shopping
Columbus, Ohio. It doesn't say. But he was also one of the founding celebrity investors in Planet Hollywood, that chain of restaurants.
mall? That went super well.
Along with Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, and Sylvester Stallone. So yeah, he just ran a good business and invested his money wisely, and he was a millionaire before he was 30, and then he went into acting. This is still while he's competing.
Yeah, right.
Wild. Who's got the time? Because also, on top of all that, he has a family. He married journalist Maria.
2 families, right?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
He married journalist Maria Shriver. She was the niece of President John F. Kennedy.
Which I think is quite funny because he said in the 60s he didn't agree with the Democratic presidents, which is JFK.
Ah. Well, they got married in 86 and they have 4 children. Catherine, and that's what we were saying, ties in because she is now married to Chris Pratt.
Right.
Christina.
So Chris Pratt married a Kennedy / Schwarzenegger.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
God, he nailed it. Patrick and Christopher. After 25 years together, the couple separated in 2011 after it was revealed that Arnie had fathered a son more than 14 years earlier with an employee in the household, Mildred Patricia Patty Boehner. And he says, after leaving the governor's office, I told my wife about this event, which occurred over a decade ago, which is what he said in a statement issued to the Times. In the statement, he did not mention that he had confessed to his wife only after she had confronted him with the information, which she had done after confirming with the housekeeper what she had suspected. So she's confirmed it all. And then he's like, oh, yeah. So the housekeeper had been with the family for 20 years and retired at the time of the separation, funnily enough.
So she would have known the wife very well.
Very well. They were pregnant at the same time.
Oh.
So she was pregnant and working in the home while Maria was pregnant with the youngest of the couple's 4 children.
Strong tadpoles.
They both give birth to very muscular babies. Huh, what are the chances?
So Boehner, the housekeeper's son, Joseph, was born on October 2nd, 1997, and Maria gave birth to Christopher a few days before on September 27, 1997. So only a few days apart, these 2 boys. He says, Arnie Schwarzenegger says it took 7 or 8 years before he found out that he had fathered a child with his housekeeper. And it was not until the boy started looking like him that he put things together.
I remember the time some photos came out and he looks very much like Arnie.
Right.
It's, it's not great. But like you know what? That tone was wrong from me. It sounds like I was going to justify it. I just mean he's like done the right thing in terms of supporting his families, and everyone's okay.
Oh, yeah, everyone's okay now? Everyone feels okay about it?
Sure.
Have you spoken to them?
Yeah, I checked with him.
Oh, that's great.
So
Oh, if anyone
good.
can afford 2 families.
Great news.
Totally, like he bought him a house and stuff. They're fine. It's not. Well, actually, no, because her marriage also broke down. Anyway, it was not good. But to lighten things up a bit, I have fun facts for the
Ooh,
end.
fun facts.
So because he grew up during the Allied occupation of Austria, Arnie commonly saw heavy military vehicles such as tanks as a child. He kind of loved tanks. So he had one, and he had to pay $20,000 in order to bring his Austrian Army M47 tank to the United States, which he previously operated during his mandatory service in 1965. So he brought his own tank over.
That is amazing. $20,000 to bring a tank doesn't even sound like that much, though, does it?
Yeah.
Feels
That's a
like
good deal.
That's the same price as like a Nissan.
Yeah. The import taxes are crazy
Drive away, no more to pay.
in a Nissan.
20 grand.
I like how Americans say Nissan. I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Nissan. Adidas is fun.
Adidas, Hyundai
They say Hyundai.
for Hyundai.
Aluminum.
Oregano.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's oregano, you dickheads. In September 2015, the media announced that Schwarzenegger was going to replace Donald Trump as host of the new Celebrity Apprentice. This show, the 15th season of The Apprentice, aired during 2016-2017 TV season. In the
I've
show,
missed this entirely.
me too. In the show, he used the phrases "You're terminated" and "Get to the chopper," which are quotes from his famous roles. In March 2017, Donald Trump had just been repeatedly criticising Arnie and his role on the show. So Arnie said he was going to return for another season, and he reacted to Trump's remarks via Instagram and said, "Hey, Donald, I have a great idea. Why don't we switch jobs? You take over TV because you're such an expert in ratings, and I take over your job, and then people can finally sleep comfortably again."
Oh, crikey.
On Instagram.
Yeah, you ground him. That's not where Donald is. Get him on Twitter.
Get him on Twitter.
where
He's
he
all
goes.
about the gram.
Imagine that convo kicking off. That'd be fun.
That'd be amazing to watch. Couple last things. Obviously, Arnie is considered among the most important figures in the history of bodybuilding, and his legacy is commemorated in the Arnold Classic, which is an annual bodybuilding competition. But also, finally, I have a few of his records for some of his lifting moves. So, for example, his record for a deadlift is 710 pounds or 320 kilos.
Okay.
Is that big?
I do 50 at the moment.
Whoa.
At my peak, a few years ago, I did about 115.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. 320 kilos he's lifting that.
That sounds a lot.
That's fucked. His bench press, his record is 520 pounds, 240 kilos. That's so much.
I've got no scale, but that sounds amazing.
I mean, think of something that weighs 240 kilos, then lie on your back and lift it up over you.
All right, I'm doing it.
Oh, you're doing it pretty comfortably.
Yeah, wow. Oh, a little niggle in the right elbow, but don't worry. And, yep.
Dave, are you the strongest man alive?
I didn't know this about you, Dave.
Wow. I mean, I have broken a sweat, I'll admit that. So
His squat was similar, 247 kilos or 545 pounds. He's clean and jerk, your favourite.
how long did he take? 7 seconds.
298 pounds or 135 kilos.
Jeez, that's a whopper.
That is insane. Anyway, those are the records of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that is my report on Arnie.
My favourite actor.
We did
What a
it.
guy. And, he had a lot of things in there. And you even squeezed in a sex scandal.
Yeah, you got to squeeze in the sex scandal.
It's funny until you started saying, I'm like, oh, and I had forgotten about that. But
Me too. I don't think I knew that at all.
I didn't know about that.
No, somehow I missed that.
It was real big news at the time, but you were probably focusing on other things.
Was that 2011? I was at uni.
Yeah,
So I was
journalism.
I was definitely...
You probably weren't paying attention to the news.
I find his achievements very inspiring.
Yeah.
And because of he's achieved so much, he's often speaks at like universities and things like that. There's a few videos on YouTube when he talks about like everything they said I couldn't be they said I couldn't go to America and I did it. They said I couldn't be a bodybuilder and I did it. They said I couldn't be an actor because of my name and my voice, and I
Do
did
the
it.
voice.
They said I couldn't be a politician, and I did it. And I just find all that stuff pretty inspiring.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously a very driven person. He'd probably be a nightmare to be around. People that are that driven, it's like you can't sit still, you know?
Mm.
But it is very, very impressive.
All right, well, that brings us to the point of the episode that everyone loves. It's the Fact, Quote or Question segment where Patrons on the Sydney Scheinberg Deluxe Memorial Rest in Peace level get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question. And there's a little jingle that I think Jess does.
No.
No, there isn't. I'm mistaken.
Fact, quote, or question.
Ding.
Thank you.
And this week,
It's wrong, but okay.
Just do it.
it's James Cox, and he's given himself the title Master of Matching Outfits.
Oh, love that.
And his question, he's asking a question.
Great.
His question is, you guys do a lot of reports about amazing people, but I've always been curious as to who you guys would consider your personal heroes and why.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Jeez, that was appropriate timing for that question. Personal heroes. Ugh.
That's a tough one. I've never really thought about a hero. There's obviously people that I look up to in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that.
No, that is a tough one.
My dad.
Yeah,
It's
like,
probably the same for all of you, my dad.
Yeah,
inspired
your
us
dad
all.
for sure.
I think, yeah, like my parents, grandparents, a lot of family that I look up to.
Yeah, they're kind of your role models. I mean, growing up as a kid, my brother was definitely my hero. I copied everything he did. I played every sport he played. I adored him.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, nah, he's great. But yeah, I don't know, heroes are a bit different as you get older, aren't they? Like, you don't really aspire to be superheroes anymore. You just sort of see traits in people that are admirable and you think, yeah, I'd like to be like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
that
as a
too
kid, it would have
sincere?
been like footballers.
Yeah. Or superheroes or, fictional characters or
Captain
something.
Planet, for example.
Yeah.
Ah, he's a hero. Gonna take pollution
Down to zero. Wind.
Water, heart, go planet. Now the planet is yours. I am Captain Planet. Captain Planet, he's a hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. He's
Gonna help him put a thunder. Bad guys who like to loot and plunder. You'll pay for this, Captain Planet.
All right, so collectively our answer is Captain Planet.
Where the planet is, sorry.
You can be one too, 'cause saving our planet is the thing to do. Looting and polluting is not the way. Here's what Captain Planet has to say.
The power is yours. Go planet.
Great.
I'm adding.
I think Captain Planet's our hero.
Yeah.
He's my absolute hero.
My actual hero is Captain Pollution. I'm Captain Pollution.
Whoa.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. He came back a couple of
He
times.
did, and he had like the
Is it just green
and he
Captain
had,
Planet?
instead of the 5 positive rings, there were 5 negative rings.
And he had like scabs and stuff on him. He
Yeah.
looked a bit off.
Captain Pollution.
And he loved like rubbish.
Oh,
He's a real
trash.
rubbish guy.
We love trash.
He loved getting done trash.
Yeah. Do you think James is going to be satisfied with that answer?
I think
But
so.
our hero is Captain Planet. He's a pretty wholesome guy.
Who's your comedy hero? Do you have one? I don't know if I have one necessarily.
That's a tough one
You
too.
say tripod sometimes.
Well, yeah, that's definitely why that would have been my main intro into comedy.
Oh, my intro would have been going to see David O'Doherty.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
I'm still a huge fan.
Leno and Woodley, for sure.
I reckon Anthony Morgan on TV as
Mm-hmm.
a kid, he was on like one of the great debates. I reckon that's the first time I was like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah, cool.
You guys are my comedy
Oh, obviously, you
heroes.
two.
Was
You-
that a given?
in certain ways, you two, I look up to you in certain ways. Other ways,
In what ways?
could not look any further down.
Tell me which ways you look up to me.
It would hurt my neck to look that far down.
Okay, yeah, but tell me the ways you look up.
Uh,
What do you like about me?
I think I like it. Like in recent times, you've had like this wild sort of like a stillness of mind to look at the big picture and make cool decisions that I'm like, I don't think I would have been able to do that.
I've said no to things.
Yeah, which I find hard to do.
Me too, to be honest.
I'm just like, oh, amazing that you go, I actually don't think this will make me happier. And I'm like, fuck, it's a wild idea.
But you two should say no to drugs, like Jess did.
Yeah.
I'm
Be a nerd like me.
How'd she say no?
I just can't.
That guy in the alleyway.
He said,
He
"You
was
want
cool."
some drugs?"
Or you can look at my horse.
Oh, that was cool.
It'll cost you the same.
I'd pick the horse.
Look at a horse instead of drugs. Yeah, good call. You could look at a horse for longer than drugs last.
Yeah.
What do they last, 4 or 5 seconds?
Look at
But
a
it's
horse
an
for
amazing 45
30 years.
seconds.
But then the damage lasts forever.
I think I really look up to Dave's positivity. He's nearly always positive. He
thank you.
occasionally cracks.
But it's very
And
occasional.
it's pretty fun to
Very
see.
funny. No, Dave is, of the three of us, and I think you'll agree, Matt, the most consistent.
Yeah, he is.
His mood is always the same.
Yeah.
And you like...
always seeing the good side and things. And
Yeah. Being on tour with you is very easy because
Yeah.
in the morning you're like, hey. And at night you're like, hey.
Hey, good night.
There's,
All right.
there's no change. Whereas I'll be like, I'm hungry and I'll drop a lot.
and I'll be tired, inevitably. Guys. But I think we've figured each other out.
Yeah, we're pretty good now.
I admire you guys too, by the way.
Yeah, and Matt's all right.
I admire, Matt, your ability to just get it done. Sometimes
Oh,
you'll be like up till like 4 or 5 in the morning just getting something done, like writing a report or something. Like, I went to bed for 2 hours last night. I'm like, I would have cracked. I would have like fallen
Yeah.
asleep. But you do
Deadlines.
it.
I go, well, yeah, if I've
You're
got something
amazing.
coming, I have to get it done.
Yeah, you just get it done.
The second fact, quote, or question of this week is our Simpsons guy, who's given himself the title, That Simpsons Guy, Jacob Lane.
Jacob Lane.
Oh, Jacob Lane.
You better squeeze in I don't think we've had a
I was thinking about, we were talking
about.
about Jurassic Park before, and it just made me think of Billy and the Clonosaurus. You remember that? When Principal Skinner's talking to Apu about how he's going to write a film, and the plot is clearly Jurassic Park, and he says, and I call it Billy and the Clonosaurus. And Apu's
fun.
like, what are you talking about, you idiot?
Has
It's already a film, the biggest movie.
Arnie ever made a cameo? Feels like
Oh,
he
well,
would.
Rainier Wolfcastle is
Oh,
a
of
parody
course.
of him.
Yeah.
Of course. So glad we squeezed it in there. Well
Yes.
done.
Oh, God, and that Mendoza!
So Jacob Lane asks a question as well, 2 questions. His question is, so I've already given a fact and a quote, so I'll ask you guys a question this time.
Great.
I'm sure you often get asked what your favourite episode or character from The Simpsons is, but I was wondering what your favourite joke or gag is. My personal favourite is the Guy Incognito bit from the episode Fear of Flying. Oh, tough question without
so
notice.
hard.
Oh, my favourite character if you had asked would have been Lionel Hutz.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good one.
The Phil Hartman characters are so good.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But favourite joke or gag?
I mean, the one that I love, Put It in H, that you guys hadn't seen
Yeah,
last
that was
week.
great.
That is,
I remember that vaguely. I mean, there's so many that I quote a lot. One of them is when Homer, there's my exact double. That dog has a puffy tail.
I must study this man.
I think one that I quote a lot is, you'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So I am often wearing a towel.
Yeah, you get around in towels a lot, like right now.
Yeah.
I also love Barry, Bert, Bort. Bort?
My son
No,
is awesome.
come along, Bort. I'm sorry, were you talking to me? My son is also named Bort. I love that so
was
much.
good.
That's a good bit.
Oh, and I like the whole episode where it's in the future and Lisa's the president.
Oh, that's a good one.
What happened to you, China? You used to be cool. That's great.
I love that. It was that line, which I think about sometimes, which isn't super funny. It's just kind of mean. Hugh Grant says to Lisa, he goes, "You're like a flower who grew out of a pot of dirt." Describing the Simpsons as a pot of dirt.
But also, of course, that's where a flower grows.
Yeah.
If anything, your parents should be the dirt that nourishes you and helps you grow.
Yes.
You know, that's the dream of any parent, I believe, to be dirt. You know?
Yes. That's beautiful. There's nourishment in there.
Yeah.
The line that I think I've also mentioned recently was the Shelbyvillian grandpa who says, "And with that, we cast out that evil
The
lemon tree. And let's have a celebratory drink of turnip juice.
There's a lemon behind that yellow lemon-shaped rock.
That episode's got so much.
Oh,
so
Lemon
many
of
good
Troy.
He's running. Homer's running from the junkyard dog to get back into the camper van, and he throws it some meat to slow it down, but it eats the meat in one gulp, and it only makes him faster. Well, then they're trying to drive away, and Flanders is like, someone's using all the juice. And he's like got a turkey baster. He's got
Yeah.
the full
Basting the whole thing.
oven. Yeah,
It's like, I thought you said you could read lips. I assumed I could.
great line. All the bits from the hammock region of the
Oh, yeah. That's down on third.
that whole episode. I mean,
They're two of my all-time favorite episodes, right?
yeah,
there.
they're two of my
You
top.
ever seen a man say goodbye to his own shoes? Yeah, once.
Mr. Thompson bits. I think he's talking to you.
That is. Oh, there's so many. Jacob
many.
Lane, what a question. We could do this all night.
The problem is I don't read them out beforehand, so
Yeah.
there's no notice. But yeah, thanks for helping us reminisce there, Jacob.
That's fun.
It's funny that we had more answers for favourite Simpsons joke than who's your hero.
Lionel Hutz.
Oh, Matt Groening, obviously.
Of course.
Well, that brings us to everyone else's favourite section of the show, and that is where we thank a few other Patreons. Jess, you normally have a little game here. What do you reckon this week?
Okay, so what I was just thinking before is that we name their sequel.
So Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.
He's also in Expendables 2, which is...
Judgment Day.
Which basically means we're coming up with a film in the first place and then a sequel.
Oh, is there going to be a twin sequel? They've been talking about that for a long time. Did you come
I don't
across
know.
that with possibly Eddie Murphy being involved?
It's like a triplet.
A triplet types. Yeah.
Oh,
And also, did you come across the story that was his most profitable movie?
I did not.
Twins.
didn't see
True.
that.
Because him and Danny DeVito they signed on and they said, oh, we'll just take a percentage of the profits. And it ended up being a massive hit. And they both made, tens of millions of dollars each.
And it wouldn't have been... I guess the studio were like, this isn't going to be...
Yeah, it's a bit of a risk. It's a bit of a weird movie, an idea that Danny DeVito and Arnie are twins. And then it was just a massive success and that they were just cashing those checks forever.
Whoa.
Love it. All right, so I'll kick it off by thanking, if I can,
Please.
from Glenside in, I reckon, Pennsylvania, PA. It's Michelle Lineberger.
Michelle Lineberger.
Lineberger? One Liberty Bell. Two Liberty Bells. Come on, Liberty Bell. Yes, 3 Liberty Bells. Mr. Simpson, I'm really going to need you to move your finger. A cherry.
He's so
Mr.
ashamed.
Simpson. Another good bit.
Okay. All right.
Michelle Lineberger.
I'm going to say Lineberger.
Lineberger.
Michelle Lineberger. And the
She'd
film,
go around just making people hungry all the time.
film is called The Salesman.
Okay.
2.
Salesman 2,
Two.
back in the briefcase.
Yes. Salesman 2, back in the briefcase.
I like it.
Michelle Lineberger.
And on the poster, she's like running and she's holding a briefcase and you can see that it's open and there's a gun in there.
Oh,
Because the salesman's just a cover.
that's a cover.
Oh.
Love it.
Michelle is badass.
That's badass.
That's badass. I'd also love to thank you so much, Michelle. I'd also love to thank from Palmyra in Western Australia, Luke Wood,
Luke
who we
Wood.
met when we were over there last year.
Oh, Luke, yeah.
He gave me a West Coast Eagles stubby buddy, which I've been using. Thank
Yep.
you so much, Luke, for your fine work. Now, what kind of film is The Woodman in? Woodman Cometh was the original.
Yeah, this
and
one
it was
is...
about a axeman who's chopping down trees. And then he heard a call from down yonder, and it opened up a world of mystery and intrigue.
And that was Woodman Cometh.
Yeah.
And this is Woodman Cometh 2, Woodman Taketh Away.
Oh, Luke Wood. That's good. I would see both of those in one sitting.
Yeah, big time. I'd do a back-to-back. I'd do a marathon.
Much like we were with the Terminator films. Cannot wait, guys. Wow.
wait.
I've never been so excited about something. And
Can
that
I-
says a lot about my life.
So we're going to do back-to-back one night.
I reckon.
Oh,
if you're
sounds-
up for it.
Yeah.
Sounds so tedious. That's too much time to spend.
Oh,
with you.
honest-
How much popcorn?
I'll get you like jumbo.
Okay.
The Astor sometimes do the back-to-backs, so maybe...
Yeah, true.
Not that long ago they did, and I wish I'd seen it. I wish I'd gone. I'll tell you what, it was a Die Hard / Terminator 2.
Oh.
They're both sequels. Great.
Original Die
Hard.
they just put them both together. It's like two of the greatest action movies of all time.
Love
two
it.
of my favourite all-time films, and I wish I'd seen it.
May I thank some people as well?
Yes, please.
I would love to thank from Sutton in Surrey.
Sutton.
I would love to thank Elizabeth Joyce.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Elizabeth Joyce.
Lizzie Joyce. Lizzie J.
And the film is called Water Dragon 2.
That's the original.
Dragon You to Hell.
Whoa,
Water
like
Dragon
it.
2, Dragon You Down. So Water Dragon 1 is just the Water Dragon.
Water Dragon.
Water Dragon.
This is Water Dragon 2.
Dragon
You to Hell.
It's so good. What's it about?
It's a horror film.
Oh, it sounds so good. And the Water Dragon drags you...
To hell.
Through the bath hole?
No, you're in a lake.
Oh, through the lake hole.
Through the lake hole to
Whoa.
hell.
That sucks.
You gotta get out.
Oh, you got to get out. So that's not the end.
You gotta get out of hell.
Oh my goodness! Can't wait for the third quill.
The thweequel.
Thweequel. The squeakquel.
That's very cute. I would also love to thank you, Elizabeth. And I would also love to thank from Newcastle, here in New South Wales, Jess Jones.
Okay.
Ooh, Jess
Already sounds like a
Jones.
superhero name.
JJ.
Potato Run
2.
2, Sweet Potato.
Ah!
Potato on 2, sweet potato. No offense to Jess Jones, but that
Sucks.
sounds like a bomb.
Oh, what are you talking
What's it about? What's Potato Run 2 about? Sweet Potato.
Well, in the first movie...
Also, I'm going to start calling you Sweet Potato from
Thank
now
you
on.
so much. In the first movie, Potato Run
I'm
was...
going to call you Yam.
All right. Well, it was people that were kicked off their land. They were potatoes. It's a very dark movie, the first one. Tragic movie. And they were moved off their land and they were potato growers. But Potato Run 2 is much nicer. Because they've just discovered that they can grow sweet potatoes and profit twice as much. And that cash is extra sweet.
And sweet potato fries are just like suddenly quite popular.
Yeah,
their
so it's a real
business is doing
boom. So it's a
well.
real turnaround. So the first one was a tragedy comedy, and the second one is a romantic comedy.
Ooh!
Yeah, you better believe that there's a farmer boy next door that's quite good looking.
Is there like so it's like, cute and romantic comedy, but then there's like a sex scene that you're like, whoa, that was a bit
Where'd that come
graphic
from?
Yeah, like
for a rom-com.
extremely graphic.
What are they
Jeez
doing with that
Louise.
sweet potato?
Oh my god, yeah, they showed it
Oh,
in
wow.
detail. Yeah, so Potato Run 2, Sweet Potato. I think it's great.
Okay.
You're
well,
the kind of people that would have been like, Star Wars, that sounds dumb. Pass. Idiots.
Yeah, we're the idiots.
Star Wars 2, Sweet Potato. The film that never was. Thank you very, very much there to Jess Jones.
Thank you, Jess Jones. Great name, by the way.
Yeah, Jones, what a great name.
It's also,
I would like to thank...
also my name. Oh.
Now, from Milton Keynes in the Greatest Britain, I would like to thank Jay Menangi. Menangi.
Jay Menangi.
Jay Menangi.
Oh, okay. Well, the original film Jay was in was called Big Bad Biker Boy from Boston.
Yeah, loved that.
And then the sequel
Loved that
was...
film.
What was the sequel?
The sequel was
Uh-huh.
Bigger, Bikier, Boyer,
Bad boy.
Badder, Back in Boston 2.
Ah.
So it was confusing because it was like it got the 2 at the end, even though it had already sort of sequelized all the other words. But it was a big hit at the box office.
Wow.
Bigger, Badder, Boyer, Back in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And that starred Jay Menangi.
Oh, starred him. No, he financed it.
Ah.
Producer. He's making all the money when that's
That's
obviously a
great.
hit.
That's what you want.
Yeah, he got a big piece of the back end.
Thank you, Jade. I would also finally like to thank from Bakersfield, California. And I imagine that your governor used to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, so how appropriate here. I would like to thank Bakersfield. I would like to thank Andrew N. Flores.
Andrew. I said that like
All right, it's going to be a spooky film. I get it.
I said that like
Andrew.
Andrew.
Okay. It's set in an oven. Okay.
Okay,
So people have died in this oven.
Spook oven.
Spook oven. And spook oven. And the spook oven.
Uh-huh.
Spook coven. See,
Yes.
there's things going on there. That's the initial. What's a spook coven 2? What's the tag on that?
Spook oven 2. It's witching time.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
So they're all mini ghosts inside an oven.
Yeah.
And they spook each other and fight each other.
But don't think that because they're little, they're not spooky.
no.
Because they're very spooky.
Yeah.
They're just very small.
Like spiders. They're terrifying. They're small.
But, yeah, these are a little bit spooky.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I got shivers just thinking about it. Oh, so spooked.
Oh, Andrew and Flores, your movie has really affected us emotionally.
And then, thank you to all those supporters. Let's have a look, see if there's anyone who's ready to be inducted into the Triptych Club, which is for people who've been supporting the show for 3 years plus on the $5 or above section. Let me see. What's the date this week? It comes out on the 26th. That means we've got a couple of inductees. 2, including
1.
from Sydney. He's a buff man. Very similar sort of physique to Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's Dan Barley.
Dan Barley.
Dan Barley, the yoga man from
Thanks,
Sydney.
Dan.
Via Britain. Thanks, Dan, you legend. I can't believe you've been around all these years.
Yeah, it's so nice.
I think I first met him at the first time we did a live show in Sydney.
Yeah, I think so.
And also, we've met at live shows before from Carshalton in England. It's Robert Farley.
Robert Farley. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. Welcome into the Triptych Club. Make yourself at home.
So it's like a little lodge.
Grab yourself a cocktail
Yeah.
and some nibblies.
Yes, we've got an assortment of nibblies.
Enjoy.
Pretzels. Dip.
Oh, you're making me so hungry. We're not allowed to eat them, unfortunately.
Did you have dinner?
I did. I had some shepherd's pie.
Good job.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of this mother flipping episode.
Wow, what an episode it's been.
Let's go back and think about all the good times. But we'll do that off pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we usually do. It's a debrief where we just relive the memories.
We just listen back to the whole thing.
If you're keen, you can follow us on all the social medias, pretty much all the classic ones at Do Go On Pod, and you can get us on email at dogoonpod. Yes, at Gmail.
Yep.
You can find our website dogoonpod.com.
Yep.
That sounded short, but that's our website.
You are
and on
unsure of
there,
everything. Have you wrapped up the show before?
you've got all sorts of things on there, including all our live dates coming up. We've also got a merch section, so you can buy T-shirts, and what else is on there?
Got a pin.
And so get on there, get involved, enjoy yourself.
Indulge.
But we'll be back next week with another huge report. I've already been looking into it, and it's a banger. People are going to love it.
Is it huge?
It's big. It's almost too big to fail. Yet somehow it finds a way.
Oh, no.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Until then, as we always say here, suck it, fuck it, best of luck. Wait, no, that's a different show. Laters!
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.